Hi, my name is Matthew. Welcome to part 3 of our 5-part property series. By now you should be well on your way to understanding some of the financial and legal considerations of renting or buying your home. In our last episode we talked about buying a property on your own. Today we're going to be talking about buying a property with someone. When you're buying a property with someone, your solicitor will need to know how you intend to own the property. There are 2 ways to buy a property with someone else, either as joint tenants or as tenants in common. So whether you're buying with a spouse, partner, relative or friend, it's important to work out which one is best suited to your situation. Let's look at the differences and dive into what these terms mean. Let's say there are 2 of you and you decide to buy as joint tenants. Using this method, you'll both own the property equally and share the financial obligations. This means you'll need to get one joint mortgage. If you sell the property, you're each entitled to half the sale proceeds, regardless of how much you contributed to the purchase price or mortgage repayments. And if one of you dies, the property automatically passes to the other owner. It's important to note here that the surviving owner can do whatever they like with the property. For example, they could sell it and keep all of the proceeds. So this option may not be suitable if you have beneficiaries or dependents such as children, and you want them to benefit from your house sale. More on that in a minute. If, again, there are 2 of you and you decide to buy as tenants in common, you'll each own separate shares in the property. You could have equal shares, or one of you could own a larger share than the other. This means it's technically possible to get separate mortgages, but it's worth noting that it's very rare you'll find a lender who'll offer this. If you sell the property, you'll receive back a proportion that reflects what you put in. So if you contributed 70% to the purchase, you'll receive 70% of the sale proceeds. And if one of you dies, rather than passing automatically to the other owner, that person's share in the property will be distributed in line with the instructions in their will. So which option is best for you? This will depend on your individual circumstances. However, buying as joint tenants might be suitable if you're buying with a trusted friend, family member or partner, you want to have equal shares in the property, or you want the property to go straight to your co-owner when you die. Buying as tenants in common might be suitable if you've made unequal contributions to the purchase price and will want that reflected if you come to sell, or you want control over who inherits your share of the property. As mentioned earlier, this is particularly important for those who have dependents. Being tenants in common gives you the best of both worlds. You can enjoy owning a property with someone else, while retaining the right to leave your share to your beneficiaries after you die. It's important to know your rights over the home you own with someone else should the relationship break down. For example, you could separate, divorce, or become estranged. If you're joint tenants, you can have your agreement severed, so you instead become tenants in common. As we covered earlier, this will mean you'll need to work out what percentage of ownership you each have. This will also give you control over what happens to your share in the property after you die. Severing or dividing a joint tenancy is very common in divorce proceedings or during a legal separation. In these instances, ideally both parties would agree to sever a joint tenancy, meaning both parties decide to change the agreement. However, you are entitled to make this change without your co-owner's consent. When serving a notice of severance, it's advisable to seek legal advice from a solicitor to ensure that you follow the right steps. Check out gov.uk to find out more. If you're a tenant in common, a deed of trust can prove very useful in the event of a dispute or a separation. This is a legal document made at the time of buying a property. It establishes each person's contribution towards the purchase price, each person's share in the property, and each person's responsibilities regarding outgoings. This means you can both see exactly where you stand if the property is sold or if one person wants to be bought out. Creating a deed of trust can help to avoid disputes and stress in future. While it's possible to write one yourself, hiring a conveyancing solicitor will ensure it's legally binding. As always with investments, your capital is at risk. The value of your investment can go down as well as up, and you may get back less than you invest. This information should not be regarded as financial or legal advice. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to watch the other episodes in this series.